Hello. In this video, we will talk about memory, about its decline. When faced with dementia, many questions arise about how to communicate with the people who have been diagnosed with it, how to approach them, how to address them, what to talk about, and how to behave so that there is a positive and fruitful connection between them and you. Of course, it's a little different with each person, because the brain is still a mystery, just as dementia remains a mystery, a disease with many faces. Even today, we are still faced with prejudices in relation to dementia. This prevents us from communicating successfully and respectfully with people who have been diagnosed with this condition. So how do we communicate with a person with dementia in stages 1 and 2 of the disease, when some unpleasant symptoms are already appearing? These include forgetfulness, loss of sense of time, lack of motivation, speech difficulties, numeracy problems, mood swings, finding the right words, and repetition of questions. We need to know that any help from family members is extremely welcome. If you're coming to visit as an outsider who will be more intensively involved with the person with dementia, it is advisable to meet family members beforehand who will tell you about their loved one's life story. Who is this person you're coming to? Who are family members and what are their relationships? What has this person done in his or her life? What did he or she like to do? And of course, what did he or she dislike? Why is this important? People with dementia are usually aware of their deficits and ashamed of them in the early stages of the disease. They are often suspicious and reserved towards strangers. So we need to talk to them about topics that are close to them. This will make communication flow much better and faster. As cognitive powers is lost, people with dementia have sharper observation and intuition. These are undoubtedly the two things that help them survive. They read us quickly and become our reflection. Our good mood, their relaxation. Our bad mood, their tension. So we have to be careful to be as calm and relaxed as possible. It is very important that we arrive on time, because people with dementia are expecting us. If we are not there as we said we would be, it can cause them distress. They wonder if they have misunderstood or made a mistake. Did I misunderstand something? Did I make a mistake? People with dementia often have problems with their vision and hearing. Often, they and their family members think they can no longer read, but only have too poor dioptry. In this case, it is a good idea to do a reading test to see how big letters they can still see, because reading function is preserved for a long time. I sometimes ask people where their relatives last had an eye examination. They often tell me 4, 6, even 8 years ago, but usually before the diagnosis of dementia. The same happens with hearing. Many elderly people would need hearing aids, but they do not have them, or they refuse to have them. We need to know that a person who cannot hear well appears to have more severe dementia than they actually have. Before you start communicating with a person with dementia, it is a good idea to pay attention to a few things. First of all, I would like to point out eye contact, and that our heads are at approximately the same level. It is best to sit down at the table, opposite the interlocutor. If my interlocutor is sitting and I'm standing, I lean towards them, downwards. It's important that he or she sees our face. Speech should be clear and loud enough. Keep sentences short and understandable. Observe how quickly they speak. It is important to speak to them at their pace. Avoid long, complicated sentences. The person may get lost at the end of the sentence and forget what we were talking about. First, give the person a choice as to whether they would like to talk about the topic at all. Ask not for facts, such as dates, places, people's names, but for their opinion. Let me be a bit more specific. We do not ask them where they went on holiday last year, but we ask them, where would you like to spend your holiday? In the mountains, maybe at the seaside. We are careful not to give them too many options, because that can confuse them. 2 or 3 options are quite enough to start with. Ask them where they feel good and why. Do not ask questions that are too broad or too open-ended, as this can put them in a quandary, because they do not know where and how to start. The conversation should be conducted with feeling, and if necessary, with sub-questions. We should also never impose our opinions on theirs. For example, our taste in music, our views on politics, etc. Their opinion counts. It has its own logic, and they must feel that they are always right. We never communicate with people with dementia in a casual way. These are adults who have a lot of life experience and still have a lot of knowledge to retain. If we are not from a circle of family or friends, we always address them respectfully. People with dementia want to be called by their first name and recognized, like Mrs. N, the French teacher, or Mr. D, the excellent tailor. We take special care to maintain their integrity and to reassure them through communication and make them feel accepted, safe, and still important. We need to see the person and not the disease, so they need to be our equal interlocutors. The encouraging thing is that we can do the most with the right approach, knowledge about the disease, and above all, the right communication. We make life easier for everyone, for people with dementia and their loved ones.